And we are back. Welcome to my Europa League and Europa Conference League second leg playoff predictions. And we're just going to get straight into it. And I have to start with an apology. Now, at the end of last week's video, I said that if Midtjylland were able to get something against Sporting Lisbon, then I would owe them an apology because I didn't see them getting anything at all. I thought Sporting Lisbon were easily the stronger team going into that game. And obviously Midtjylland got the 1-1 draw, so I have to offer my apologies to them for completely disrespecting them. But then I'm going to have to apologise to them again because I'm doubling down and I'm going to go for Sporting Lisbon to win again. I still think that despite what Midtjylland achieved last week, Sporting Lisbon should, on paper, be far too good for Midtjylland. And yeah, I'm just going to be incredibly arrogant and I'm going to double down on Sporting Lisbon. So apologies if there are any Midtjylland fans watching, but that is what I think is going to happen. Next up, we have PSV against Sevilla, a tie that could and more than likely should be already over, or otherwise we're in for a very, very interesting game right here. It is, of course, 3-0 to Sevilla after the first leg, and I just don't think PSV have enough. Whether or not they are going to throw everything at this game, it could make it very interesting if they do, but I just think this is going to be a game where Sevilla play for the draw, maybe nick a win if PSV overcommit and hit them on a few counters. I'm just going to go for a 1-1 draw. Obviously, like I say, I think all three results are possible in this one, especially with the scoreline the way it is. But I'm just going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. Next up, we have Monaco up against Bayer Leverkusen. Arguably one of the best ties of the last leg, should I say. 3-2 to Monaco it was, and I felt a little sorry for Bayer Leverkusen. They were thrown into a tough Champions League group initially, and now they're coming up against the Monaco side that are really on a good run of form domestically. So they put up a good fight last week. Obviously, to lose 3-2 at home is never easy, but now they've got to travel to Monaco and try and pull off the result. And I don't see it happening. I think it could happen. I think Bayer Leverkusen are a very good team. They have a lot of talented players. But like I say, Monaco are just on that good run of form right now. So I'm going to go for Monaco to take the win in this one. I'm going to go for 3-1. It could be a very interesting game to kick off tonight's action. And finally, for the early kickoffs in the Europa League, we have Nantes against Juventus. A 1-1 draw, a very, very good result. Very similar to the Midtjylland Sporting Lisbon result where everyone really expected Juventus to take this one pretty comfortably, but Nantes have gone in and got a fantastic result away from home. And exactly like the Midtjylland Sporting Lisbon result, I'm going to double down on Juventus and I'm going to go for 2-1. This is more out of necessity than it is like a genuine prediction. Juventus need to do well in this competition, in my opinion. They've had their points deduction in Serie A, which has put their Champions League prospects in jeopardy in that competition, and they're a very good team. They have a lot of talented players. They should, on paper, be beating Nantes. And like I say, I feel like they need to do well in this competition just to restore some pride in salvaging their season. And obviously this is another route back into the Champions League if they do win this competition. So I'm going to go for Juventus, but it would not surprise me one bit to see Nantes get at least the draw, potentially even the win that will see them through to the next round. On to the later kickoffs, and we start with Roma and Salzburg. It was a 1-0 win for Salzburg in the reverse leg. Now Jose Mourinho has the opportunity to take Roma through in the home leg, and I'm going to back them to do it. I'm going to go for 2-0, which would of course see Roma go through 2-1 on aggregate. I could see this one going to extra time. Obviously there are no away goals in European football this year, so a 1-0 for Roma or a 2-1 for Roma in normal time will see the game go to extra time. But I would expect over the course of the 90 minutes Roma do get the job done, but it could make things very interesting if Salzburg do grab that goal. Next up, it is Rennes against Shakhtar Donetsk, a 2-1 win for the home side last time out, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for the home side this time out, which would of course send the game into extra time. And the best way I could sort of graphically show who I think was going to win is to do this. So I'm going to go for Rennes to take it in extra time. Obviously they could easily win it in normal time. I just think Shakhtar played very well in that first game, caused enough problems that I think they'll score in Rennes, but I just again think Rennes have a little bit too much going the other way, and I think they will win the tie overall. But my prediction for tonight is that this game will go into extra time. Next up, we have Union Berlin up against Ajax. Ajax still really struggling for form recently. Union flying in the Bundesliga. It was 0-0 in the reverse fixture, which I think is a very good result for Union Berlin to keep Ajax out, even with their poor form at the moment. It's still a fantastic result for Union, and I would expect them to win tonight. Like I say, they're playing so well at the moment, right behind Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. So I'm going to go for Union to get the win. I'm going to go for 2-0 against Ajax in this one. And finally, in terms of the Europa League, it is the main event of the evening once again. Probably the best tie of European football up until that first leg between Liverpool and Real Madrid. It is two massive sides from the Premier League and La Liga once again. Hopefully we won't see a repeat of what happened the other night with Real Madrid winning 5-2 in England. It is Manchester United and Barcelona, with the tie finally poised at 2-2. I have, of course, got my Manchester United shirt on once again in preparations for this one, and I have to say I'm very confident. I spoke about it after the Leicester game when I did my reaction. With the injuries that Barcelona have and with the form that we're in off the back of the result with the Nou Camp, I thoroughly expect us to win this game. I would be disappointed, if not furious, if we don't win the game tonight. We really should be beating Barcelona, considering the state that their squad is in with the injuries and suspensions they've picked up over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Manchester United. My one worry would be how we start the game. We were obviously very slow starters against Leicester. We were very slow starters against Barcelona, and we were quite lucky not to be losing that game as well last week. So that is my only worry, is that we could potentially concede 1 or 2 goals at the start of the game. But once we get into our rhythm, I really think we should be taking this Barcelona side apart tonight. And I'm backing us to do so. And I'm going to go for 3-1 to Manchester United, which would see us into the round of 16 and dispatch one of the biggest clubs in European football in the process. Before we go, we are just going to quickly do a quick wrap-up of my thoughts for the Europa Conference tonight. Those results are on your screen now as I just hide my camera for you so you can see what I've gone for. Again, I don't really have many comments about this. I've not seen anything from last week other than that nearly every single game was 1-0, which was quite bizarre to see when I checked the results, that nearly every single game was 1-0. The one big upset being Fiorentina winning 4-0 away at Braga. That's a fantastic result for them. Those are, of course, my predictions for this evening's games. I have got a couple of games going to extra time once again, which is why I've highlighted Anderlecht and Qarabag in green. Those are the sides that I expect to get through in extra time and penalties if it goes that far. But that is going to be it for today's video. As always, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. Firstly, on yesterday's games in the Champions League, your thoughts on my predictions for this evening's games. And as always, let me know what your predictions are for tonight's games as well. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back after the Manchester United-Barcelona game with my immediate live reactions. Thank you very much for watching.